Hey, it's Peter Gregg, Miami, Florida. Welcome to March 11th. In case nobody had welcomed you into today, you are now welcomed into today. It's Friday night. Yay, it's Friday night. And here we are together again. A week ago we were together, and God willing, and the bridge isn't up, we will be together again next Friday. But for right now, let's bring on the food. Who's got bacon? I feel hungry for bacon all of a sudden. So, what's the elephant in the room? I think somebody came out with a brand new camera. I wonder who that was. I'm thinking maybe Windows? No, they don't even make computers. Do they make computers? Did I say camera? I meant computer. So how about them apples? We've been waiting maybe 2 years, possibly 3 years overdue. And finally we get the Macintosh Studio. So we got the Macintosh Studio. They took two of the microprocessors and they somehow weaned them together, welded them with but they probably had Lewis at Mr. Camera Junkie. He probably soldered two of those chips together. Okay. It's exciting because it's kind of like, very much like my Mac Mini M1 that I've got, actually we're using right now. And if God is willing and the bridge isn't up, we are at 4K. I was going to say 8K. But let me double check if I can read this thing. Stream size. Oh, God, I can't read it. Well, I hope it says, I hope it says 4K there, because it's so grayed out, I can't read it. So we are running at 4K here, and it is actually streaming four cameras. There we go, 4 cameras, all right? We do have a guest camera for tonight. Can you guess which one it is? Can you? Ah, Randy's here. He is saying hello. Hi, Randy, how are you doing? What's happening in Texas? What's happening in Texas? What's happening in Texas? Really now? Yeah. Okay, I need to get it together. So, the Mac Studio, 1989p. What the heck is that? We're not running at 1989p. No, it's running at 4K, 2160p. You need to check, because over here we are pumping out 2160. That's what it's set for, 2160. Live cam preferences. Doesn't really matter. Most people. Hi, Motivated Mins. Mins. You sound almost. Hey, Peter, Carlos here from my other channel, boiling myself one of your cookies. Ooh, Motivated Minds. Now, see, now that I know who it was, I got it. Minds. I got it. It took me a while. Okay. Send me some medicine, Carlos. So, I'm trying to keep my water intake up because I not be doing such a good job. So, how you doing, Carlos? Good to see you. And Randy says, oh, meaning he meant 1080, not 1089. And he's cold. And Charles, hi, Peter and fellows. Here's a fellow YouTuber. And Carlos is saying, yes, 4K. 4K, take it away. Okay, we got a new computer. It's obviously not here. They're not going to ship it until April 1st, I think, or 2nd. I think it's April 1st through the 8th is that new computer. I'm excited about it, to be honest with you. What bothers me is it looks like the very low-end computer is all I really need, except I would need to update the 512 to a 1K, because that's what I've got in my iMac is a 1K. And it could take over everything that I needed to take over. So it's $2,000. and I would need their new keyboard, because this keyboard is getting old in the tooth. It doesn't have the you know, the thing on the side where you know, anyway, $200. And what else? Apple Care is $169. So it comes out to about $2,400-$2,500. Now, Randy, is when I feel like I want to sell the Windows 95 computer, and I can get at least half of that money or more to go towards the new one. So Carlos says, yes, I'm on 4K. Okay, and keep the beard. Does it look all right? I don't know. People are on my case about keeping it, and people are on my case about getting rid of it. So we are on a Nikon Z6, but I don't know why it's got so few seconds. So now we've got the E10. So have you recognized the guest camera that's here? I finally got it wired up because I finished walking around with it in the backyard. I've got the stabilizer test that I've done, where I use Catalyst Browse to stabilize all the individual clips. And actually, it's really slow no matter what computer I put it on. But there's always that new computer. So Lewis says hi to everybody. And Carlos says hi to Mr. Camera Junkie. So here we go, and I guess the top thing on my mind is that new computer, if you can't tell. Oh, and I put up a video. I'm going to be putting up some videos pretty heavily on the kitchen channel. I'm gonna pump that one up and see if I can get it going, or if it's just gonna linger, because that's what it's been doing. It's been lingering. So yeah, Randy, you got it. It's the A74, and I have it in the rotating cameras. It's actually the next one after this camera is the A74. So now I'm looking, no, over there is the E10. Okay, and now that's the Sony A7 Mark IV. So that's what the A7 IV looks like when it's plugged into HDMI 4K, 30 frames per second. Shutter speed is at 1/60th. I'm using the Sigma 30mm 1.4 lens on there. Randy, does that ring a bell? Ding ding. Okay, so that gives me 45 millimeters, and we're running the A74 with that lens. And Mr. Camera Junkie is got it right. Yeah, I like calling it the A74. I think that's pretty cool. So because the other one is the A73. And smoothie with bacon, smoothie and bacon. Oh yeah, I did. I put two of them up. So a smoothie and a bacon. And the next one is how to make a 1-minute hard-boiled egg. And the next one after that is how to make a 1-minute oatmeal. And then the next one after that is how to make a oatmeal and hard-boiled egg all at once. And with the 1 minute, you just put them in there for 1 minute. But after it's finished the 1 minute, you have to let it stay for 10. So Randy, the one that you've got will count up to 10. So you put the couple of eggs in there. And if you want, you could put your oatmeal, mix it up in a bowl just the way you want it, then put the bowl inside, okay, and put a cup of water on the bottom, not in the oatmeal, but on the bottom. Set it to 1 minute. After you set it to 1 minute and it's done, let it continue on for 10 minutes before you open up the top. So you could set it for 1 minute, eggs, oatmeal, which I know you don't do, you get your coffee on your way to work, but let's pretend. And then you can go take your shower. By the time you come out, it should be almost close to the 10 minutes. So that's breakfast in a minute. So that's, I'm going to concentrate on my 1 minute recipes. And then after my 1 minute recipes, I got my 3 minute recipes. So we got chicken breasts, the white meat. And what else do we have for 3? We got rice, the best rice you ever wanted to have. Okay, that's a 3 minute recipe. So I got a bunch of 1 minute recipes, 3 minute recipes. I did the bacon, okay, and let's see if there's anything else I might want to make on keto. So I wonder where Mario is. There he is. There's Mario. There's my big Mario. At, I'm going to guess you're in Miami. And you're going to tell me that you're in Colombia, okay? Hi, A7 Mark IV, what you doing? Huh, you making Peter look good, huh? You making Peter look good on this camera? So this is the full width, and I could actually duplicate this camera and make it. Let's see what I can do. Okay, let's pause it. You know, I know better than to do this live, but we'll click there and we'll say duplicate, and then we'll go to the duplicate and duplicate, and then I'm going to come over here, and on the duplicate one I'm going to zoom it in. So that's the A74 in the duplicated mode. Okay, and then we'll lock it down, and there we go. So this is the A7 Mark IV or A74. So the first it's going to do a wide angle, then it's going to do a crop, and now we're on the Nikon Z6, which has a crop. Okay, obviously, because I'm pretty close on that. Okay, so Mario's in Miami. Peter called it right. I win. What do I win? I don't know. I win something. Carlos says, I'm seriously looking at the GH6. You know, I found a reason. Well, there's a few reasons, but I found a new reason to own the GH6, believe it or not. Now, you don't actually need the GH6 to do what I'm about to say. But if any of you guys actually watch my kitchen channel, you'll see that I did one with the where I made the bacon chips. So I get the chips, I eat 2 or 3 like you would eat a couple of potato chips, okay? So I had the A74 there, and I had it on the pot, and the automatic focus did very well, to be honest with you, except when I got my hands in there to stir the bacon around and flip it over and stuff, okay, it focused on my hand instead of in the bacon. So it needed to stay focused in the bacon, okay? So what the GH6 would be very good at is if you set it to automatic focus, but not continuous, then you put the Panasonic app in your cell phone, okay, and then because it's up so high, it's almost near the ceiling because I have to get it away from the grease and the steam. So the camera's really high up on the tripod in the kitchen, facing downward onto the stove, much like the Nikon ZFC does here. It's all the way up at the ceiling, and it's aiming down at me. Okay. Now, if you set the camera up for automatic focus, okay, but there's a second section in there, unless they changed it, where it says continuous focus on or off. You take continuous focus off, okay? So the automatic focus will be there, and it'll be operating. So I actually can make it focus, bam, right down at into the bottom of the pot, which was fuzzy. And sometimes you could see the bacon, sometimes you couldn't. And the times you couldn't is when my hand was stirring. The A74 immediately, boom, it focused right on my skin. So my hand was in perfect focus. You could see H spots on my hand and everything. Okay, so that would be a great place for if you wanted a high quality studio and you had like a kitchen set up. You can have the GH6 as over the stove, high and far away, and with it being micro four thirds, it means all the lenses are doubled. So you could put the camera way up there, but you can't tap to focus. You'd have to go up on the ladder, which is what I had to do. Okay, I had to go up on the ladder and get this guy to focus, but I left it on automatic focus. Yes, it did a great job, but it was focusing on the nearest item, which was my hands. Okay, so I was thinking the GH6 would be awesome here. Actually, another GH4 would be great because it does the same thing. You tap it on, you know, you'll see what's on the screen, like what you got there right now. You'll see what's on the screen, okay? So I could tap on the bacon, it'll focus and then stop focusing because you'll turn off the continuous focus. So you could actually do that here also. I could just tap on my face, okay, and when I tap on my face, it's going to focus on my face. Now, if I walk back over here, okay, this camera, whatever that is that's on, the Z6, is going to continue to focus, but the GH6 won't. So if I keep this in my hand and I just slyly tap to focus on here, she'll pull in the focus. And that's how you work any of the Micro Four Thirds from Panasonic. Okay, so this is the one that's up there. So pretend that I was the stove now. I'd focus like right on the skin, right here on the V-neck, and then it would wind up staying in focus. So did I lose everybody on that one? Sorry. So Lewis is here, and he's saying hi to everybody. And then he's saying, Randy, I've been enjoying your videos. Yeah, Randy has been putting up some videos, and he's been doing a really good job. All right, everybody get your glass. We're all going to have a little sip of water, so I don't want to drink alone on a Friday night. Seriously, right? If I was smart, I would have brought my bag of bacon chips in here, and I can eat a bacon chip every once in a while. So this is what the A7 IV looks like. I haven't done any correction to it at all, okay? So it is actually, this is the way it is straight out of the camera, coming out of the HDMI, 4K, and automatic focus. I haven't adjusted anything on that. Coloring, I haven't adjusted anything on that. As a matter of fact, on the white balance, I think it's set to auto white balance because I didn't go in there and change the white balance. So this is auto white balancing on me. So that is the A7 IV. I would say, yeah, I could easily run the whole studio with 2 or 3 of these, okay? But they're $2,500. So you can get the Z6, which will be up in a second. You can get those as low, if you're a good shopper, you can get those for $1,100, $1,200. The original Z6 and the focus on it, excellent for most situations, okay? Maybe when you go into sports and you got to take pictures of your kids, you know. I see Norm, you know, when your kids are out playing, Norm, I'm sure your son is out, plays football still. He says, Merry Christmas, Peter, and Greggy's around the world. Did the kids come over for dinner tonight, or is that out for a while? We're getting into the Passover area because the Greek Orthodox Easter is coming up. Actually, the American Easter is coming up too. When is it? I think it's April 22nd, possibly, somewhere. So it's like a month, a little more than a month away. So that means that Passover is coming, and I think, Norm, you do the Passover, right? Does the chicken get to come to the Passover? So this is the Nikon Z6. Good? Yeah. Excellent. Norm says it's cool. -1 Celsius in Toronto tonight. Must be the reason why the A74 looks a tad blush tonight. Blush means what? You think the saturation is up a little too high on the A74? It's pretty much set from the way I walked around the backyard, which was straight out of the box, okay? No, well, wait a minute. I did make some changes. I put it in manual mode, so it's not running the shutter or it's not running the shutter, ISO, or the f-stop. All those are on manual on all the cameras, actually. None of them. Where are you? That one. It does the same thing. I did put up the seconds. See up here? You can see the seconds. I opened that up so I can watch it because, okay, so here's the A74. So this is the Sigma 30 millimeter f1.4 lens set to 1.4. So it's a little bit wider than we're used to, right? I could actually probably step in a lot closer here. Of course, I'm going to get brighter because I have everything set to manual except the white balance. But you can see the Christmas tree. It gets the fuzzy lights and all that. I would say this is a very pleasant picture. Okay, and in a second it's going to switch to being cropped. Okay, see, I have the same camera duplicated. So this is an example of taking the single camera and making it look like two cameras, okay? So you do this in two places. You do this in Ecamm, and you do this when you're editing, okay? So when I did the bacon video, some of them are closer and then farther from the same camera, because when I took it into Final Cut Pro, I actually cropped it. Henry's here. Hi, Henry. How are you doing? Tomorrow, cooking chicken and pesto. Oh, that sounds good. How are you going to cook the chicken? Are you going to use an Instant Pot? You're going to use an oven? You're going to use a barbecue? You're going to use sous vide? Are you going to use a cast iron frying pan? I think I covered everything now, right? So where am I? I'm on the Z6. So Randy's saying hi to Louis, Louis Lazuka. Louis is still pumping out. I'm proud of you, Louis. Actually, all of you guys. Who else did I see put up a video? Well, obviously Tom Buck and Heather put up a video. Peter, I'm lurking, but I'm still here. I'm trying to figure out why my cookies are dry. I got stiff peaks and everything like you said, and I don't overbeat my eggs. I don't know what happened. Well, I didn't know you were making cookies. You kept saying you couldn't get stiff peaks last week, and I was making fun of you because I was making kind of like a little sexy joke out of it, okay? So the stiff peaks is not what makes your cookies dry or not dry, okay? What makes your cookies dry or not dry is the amount of butter and the, what's the other part? The Crisco, okay? That helps keep it moist. So since they are cookies, okay, we're not looking for, health store cookies. You need to put the right ingredients. Otherwise, don't make cookies. Make something completely different. You want to know something? Look up. You want to try something pretty cool. I haven't even tried it yet, Louis. Try looking up keto brownies. I'm going to try that. I saw a lady make a keto brownie, and she used almond flour and heavy cream. And what else did she put in there? Almond flour, heavy cream, the cocoa powder. So the cocoa powder, there's a secret to cocoa powder. It's got a lot of acidity. It'll burn in your stomach. So use a Dutch process. So like if it's Hershey's, get the dark cocoa powder. So Passover is next month. Okay, so it's right around with the Greek Easter. The chickens are invited, but usually we have toiki. We usually have toiki, stuffed with matzah. The turkey gives you the runs, and the matzah is the opposite. So we call it matzahfication. I never heard that term. I'm going to like that one. So, yeah, the stiff peaks are from meringue, but maybe I had too much flour. The more flour you put in, the drier it will be. So something about baking that I learned the hard way, it's not a little squirt of this, a little squirt of that. You got to be pretty precise with the measurements. That's baking versus cooking. With cooking, you could do the little of this and a little of that. So like if I put liquid smoke in there, it says tablespoon. A little bit more, but don't do that with the baking. So Norm says the only antidote for matzahfication is Brussels sprouts. Lots of sprouts of Brussels. Do you want to know something? I can't ever remember eating Brussels sprouts. I must have eaten Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to have to check and see if it's a high sugar item or a low sugar item. I got a feeling because of their green little balls that they're going to be a low sugar item. So, but I want things to be tasty, For instance, what is it that I don't like okra? Okra is like mucus. Who eats a bowl of mucus, So, Louis, it wouldn't be fair to yourself for me to make any kind of a judgment call on what you're doing. I haven't seen, you haven't given me the recipe, and you're telling me, I'm not putting enough of this or putting enough of that. Would that be fair to do to you even? Because I could be sending you off, off a cliff, you know, and not even realizing it. You have to get yourself a recipe, make sure it's a recipe that works, okay, and then follow the recipe. And if you're making cookies, I can tell you right now, there's no time at all in a cookie where you need stiff egg whites, okay? They don't need. They can be beaten egg whites, and you can beat them until they cream. You can put sugar in with it, and you beat it until it becomes creamy, and you can recognize they become creamy. But to tell you you're putting too much cinnamon, that's not fair to you, okay? And I wouldn't do that to you. I care about you, so I would have to see what the recipe is. But what you need to do is come up with a cookie that you could see on a YouTube where they give you the recipe. Then you follow the recipe, and then you'll know if that person's got it together or if they don't. And then guess what? You become the judge, Louis. You can say, this person has a lousy recipe. Does anyone see a better quality 4K stream using what Peter has, Blackmagic design with the Decklink quad HDMI recorder capture card, rather than the Camlink 4Ks? Okay, that's a good question. So Carlos is asking, is my setup, which does not use the Camlink 4Ks, okay, the dongles that you plug in, I don't use that. I use something completely different. I use a Blackmagic, where you could put up to 4 cameras into one Thunderbolt connection, okay, and everything is handled on a card. And the card used to be around here. I found it. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Ow, I just hit my toe. Okay, so take a look at this. I don't know how close I can get on here. Okay, let's see if she'll focus. Of course, it changes cameras. Now I'm going to start chasing cameras. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you see how you got 4 slots in there? 3, 2, 1, camera change. Okay, we're going to come back here. Okay, see how we got 4 slots? So this goes here, it goes into a PCIExpress. Let's say in a Windows computer, it would be the PCIExpress, okay? So what I've got here is I have a PCIExpress external box. It's just a box that has an empty slot in it. And it has power to go into the wall, a little block, or a brick as you would say. And it also has a Thunderbolt cable that goes from my little box, okay, and that goes directly into the M1. So there's one cable going into the M1, and it's a very short Thunderbolt cable, okay. So if you look in the description, I think in just about all my videos, even the cooking channel, I give a description of the flow of what I'm using, and then you can compare it to somebody that's doing. Lewis is actually doing 4K, and Lewis looks great. Mr. Camera Junkie is doing 4K using not the Blackmagic, so you can compare. You can't compare his set. He's got a dark set, Mr. Camera Junkie, and I have a pretty lively set, but you can compare the faces. And when I look at Mr. Camera Junkie, I would say it's top of the line quality. He'll be on tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, okay, as always. Mr. Camera Junkie will stream live, and I believe he uses one of the 4K dongles, okay? So I don't think you're going to see that much of a quality difference. So why am I even bother using this? Because the USB channels, okay, are on a single circuit on the M1. And it doesn't have the bandwidth to put 4 of them in and make it work properly. Plus, you don't have 4 to work with. The new Studio does, okay? Now, they have not mentioned, are they on individual highways or not? So, the Thunderbolt channels, so you know, it kind of is similar to on a Windows computer, like the PCIExpress slot where you pop in something directly into the motherboard. Okay, so the Thunderbolt cable with a true Thunderbolt cable, not a USB-C cable, a true Thunderbolt cable, okay, is actually similar to plugging something directly into the motherboard on a Windows computer. So you're plugging it directly into the motherboard of the Mac, the Mini Mac, Mac Mini M1. Now, how many highways it runs through the computer is where the bottlenecks come up. So as the apples grow, you get more and more highways. So that's why you get a better bandwidth. Now, because I've got all of it going into one singular highway, and it's all being controlled by an external card, I get better results by having four 4K cameras on at the same time. The computer handles it better, the highways are clear, and things don't get boggled down. Okay, so that is Carlos's Motivated Minds. That's Carlos, our buddy Carlos. Okay, so he wanted to know about the quality. So I'm only one person, Carlos, but I would say the quality is pretty similar. But it's kind of like how much room there is in the closet. Okay, the one that I'm using has got like a big, spacious closet, and the 4K Ecamm 4K, not Ecamm, the Camlink 4K is like a really tight, very tight closet. You're at its limits. Where over here, I'm not at its limits. I can actually go up to 60p. Okay, not that I want to, but I could if I wanted to. I don't know if the computer would handle it, to be honest with you. But it would be interesting if that studio computer gets it. So Lewis says something, I don't have the right measurements for the ingredients. Oh, so you can't bake with your heart? That's a good point. You watch the Hallmark movies, and a lot of it is when they got baking and stuff. It's like, I put love into it. I put the love. I put my hands and I bake the bread. There's one called The Baker's Son, which I love that movie. Okay. So the whole theory of it, it's a chick flicks, okay? That's what I watch, and then I also watch action movies and stuff, and of course Star Trek and Star Wars less, since I found out that a little brat destroyed a universe, and that's the whole premise of the whole freaking 40 years of Star Wars. Is this little brat couldn't have his way, so he decided to destroy the whole universe. Wow, what a premise for a storyline. Jeez, couldn't have something a little deeper than that? Give the kid a spanking. Jeez, I don't care how old he is. And it's like crazy. Anyway, so Jim. Oh, I missed your first one, Jim. Hi, everybody, says Jim. How you doing, Jim? How's my favorite Jim Monday in the whole world? So he says, cooking is an art, baking is a science. And I have heard that before. And I think that's true. And I keep trying to take baking a little bit into the art. It doesn't work. The bread will fall, the sweetness is not right, the cookie isn't soft in the middle and crispy on the outside. It is a science. So you got it right. You got it right, big boy. You got it right. Okay. But I started to tell you about the movie, the chick flicks. I should be embarrassed, right? But I'm not. So who cares at my age? Really, I watch whatever the heck I want to watch. And as long as I'm enjoying it and being entertained, tomorrow night the Bells of St. Mary is on. Guess who's going to be watching that? It's a black and white. It's an old picture. And it just gets my heart every time, okay? Dial O for O'Malley, okay? So anyway, we're talking old movies now. So it's called The Baker's Son. And the whole premise of the movie is when the boy is in love, he makes this most delicious bread, which I can't imagine a bread when you take a bite. Oh my goodness, that's the best bread I ever ate. Now, I can't picture a bread like that, okay? But they do it in that movie. So he's not in love, and and he supplies the whole village with bread. Okay? So when the bread is just bland and normal, we know the boy's not in love. But when the boy falls in love, oh my God, the bread that comes out of the bakery is like they're ready to build the whole town marketing campaign on this bread that he's baking. So he falls in love, he falls out of love, the bread gets good, the bread gets bad. It's called The Baker's Son. Okay, so just so you can know what kind of silliness I'm watching. Okay. I might have to redo the entire thing. I don't know if I could save this particular batch. Okay, well, my email is open, but you won't do it. I'll be glad to answer it, but I'm not going to run a recipe live. It wouldn't be fair to everybody else. Okay, so send me what you got. I'll see if I can correct it, and then I will email you back. If you want me to call you, it should be free for me to call you. It won't be free for you to call me, okay? So Randy is saying no difference, and that's pertaining to Carlos's question of using the card that I'm using to pump in 4 cameras into one USB port versus the other method where you have each one on a different USB. Lewis says, I wish you told me earlier, Jim. Norm, did we lose our wrench privileges? Yeah, a month or maybe 2 ago. when we had that person come in, and everybody tried to fix it all at once. We only have a few moderators now, and that's perfectly fine because I'm basically the moderator. They give us now a ban button. So if somebody comes in and does that funny stuff with the porn and everything, I just ban them, and I feel good doing it, okay? So there's no problem with that. Aaron is here. Aaron gave a really good concert. He does his concerts on Sundays, and he concentrates on concerting, okay? So, and let me tell you, Aaron sings and plays. This shows the professionalism. Somebody will say, oh, we want to hear this song. He plays it. Oh, we want to hear that song. He plays it. What was that last one? Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance, da 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 da. And he knows the words and I don't. So, and then he plays. He's got the chords. He's got the cameras running, the computers running, the live stream running, the microphone running, the guitar running. I mean, you know, if I could sell him by the pound, I'd make a fortune. That's Aaron. Hi, Aaron. By the way, I didn't even say hi, but I did put up your hello. He's saying hello to all of us. He's got that new handsome avatar. And Lewis is talking to Aaron. And Norm, good catch, good catch. Oh, I guess we had one of those. Okay. Oh, okay, never mind. Very good, Lewis. Okay, so... Lewis, I don't know what you're cooking, sweetheart. Okay, so I can't tell you if you need stiff peaks or not. But stiff peaks implies an egg without a yolk. My cookie recipe does not have any eggs with no yolks. They're all a full, whole egg. Okay? But I cream my egg. I put the egg with the sugar and I run it through the blender thing, not a blender, the beater thing, and you can see it creaming up. It gets a little bit of thickness to it. Okay, so no, for my cookie recipe you don't need stiff peaks. Okay, so in a cookie recipe that you're following, okay, fine. Okay, now Lewis is making a joke. Okay, you're right, Peter. I won't beat myself up. And he's laughing. Good one. Lewis, that's one for you, buddy. Thumbs up. High five. Bump. Okay. So, somebody's got his funny hat on. Randy says he's using the Beta Ecam, which is not the regular one. Aaron is the third. Okay. And, yeah, Aaron is using Ecam. I don't know if Aaron... Oh, I'm sure Aaron will be using the beta. I mean, Aaron is very picky on what he does. So, Aaron says the new eCam just came out. I did update it, and he says they fixed the applause. Okay, let's see if I play the applause, if it actually plays. Wait, it says muted. Let's click the applause again. Okay, so there's the applause. Now I'll try it. Oh, everybody liked it. The chicken didn't like it. Oh, just when I wanted to use it. No, yeah, I ruined the joke, but there's the applause for it. Mr. Camera Junkie Lewis says yes tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Be there or be square. And he does use the Camlink 4K. So there, you'll be able to compare it right there. Tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, Mr. Camera Junkie. Mr. Camera Junkie tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, Mr. Camera Junkie tomorrow night. Okay. So, Lewis says, love ruined my recipe. No, screwing around with it ruined it. It's not love. Don't say, oh, I love this, so I'm going to throw it in. Well, I like lasagna, but I'm not going to throw it into my cookies. So love did not ruin your recipe. You ruined your recipe. So just laugh and move on, because you're a happy guy. You're happy where? Inside here. In your heart, Lewis. I know. And you know I love you, right, Lewis? Thank you, Peter, or thank you forever for all the prayers. You're welcome, Lewis. I pray for you. I really do. I pray for every one of you every single night. It's almost becoming like a saying, praying for all of you, praying for you all, if I can read English properly. I'll be here, just going to try and see if I can make another one. Okay. I would make sure that the one that you has works. Okay. You know what you can do? Put it in the Peter Gregg Live group, because Randy is a baker also. And for all you know, somebody else in here might be a baker, so they could check it over and give you a hand. So I have used 5 USB Camlink 4Ks on my Mac Mini, Intel 5, 6-core, 3 gigahertz 2018, and now I am down to 3. But they work, and that's exactly what you want. Where am I? Over there. Okay. So Carlos is talking to Lewis. Carlos is Motivated Minds. Okay, so you can put them together, and he's the one that asked the question. Okay, about the quality and the difference. Your live stream with India was a crack up yesterday. Appreciated your vulnerability. Okay, so he's giving Lewis a compliment. I didn't see it, so but Lewis is such a kind, loving heart. He's been here a few times. Aaron is the master. He is my guitar teacher. There you go. Now we know who to blame. How come you haven't done any more of the guitar ones? They need more volume, sweetheart. Okay, don't be putting them in. So I can't hear what you put. Because then I have to go get my ear pods and then put them in. Then I got to raise the volume all the way. And all that's well and good, except when I just move on to another video and it blows my ears out. So raise your volume up. Okay, you got it, big guy? Aaron Short, do you miss the ZV1? So Randy is asking you, Aaron, if you miss... Lewis says, I wanted to omit the yolks so I could save on the cholesterol. No, if it calls for the yolks, you can't leave them out. That recipe is balanced for a certain amount of fat, okay? And if you're not putting that fat in there and you removed it, put it in somewhere else, okay? But egg yolks is the best cholesterol you can have, because egg yolks, contrary to what everybody might think, actually lowers cholesterol. Yes, it's high in cholesterol, but it functions to lower cholesterol. Got that? Is it high in cholesterol? Yes. Oh, well then I won't use it because it's high in cholesterol. No, God made it. And He packaged it in a way where it actually lowers your cholesterol. It raises your HDL and lowers your LDL. That's what the yolks do. You're better off eating all yolks and no egg whites at all, because the egg whites is going to raise your sugars. Your sugars is going to raise your cholesterol. Okay? So you can't go at it haphazard. You'll make yourself sick. okay, physically, by mixing up different types of eating styles. Okay, so my eating style now is high fats, low sugars. All right, now I didn't say high any fats. Okay, soybean oil, no. Canola oil, no. Margarine, no. Those are all vegetable oil. Bad, bad, bad oils. Bad fats. Egg yolks, good fat. Butter, good fat. Bacon, good fat. Things that are fried in soybean oil, bad fats. Okay? So it's got to be the good with the good and the bad with the bad. Now, if you mix them all up, what happened to your recipe that you're working on now is going to happen to your body. So if you want to be on low cholesterol type of foods, then don't be mixing, okay, the other type of stuff in with it, because your body will have a bad reaction. So if you want a low cholesterol cookie, you find yourself a recipe where they understand you're taking out certain fats. If you don't replace them, your cookie is going to be crappy. And that's what happened to you. Crappy cookie, okay? Because you're baking with love. You don't bake it with love. You bake it with the recipe, okay? So, Louis, that's a no-no. Don't do that, okay? Don't be changing things in the recipe when you don't understand why certain things are there. So, Louis is thanking Carlos. Thank you. You're going to make it louder for me. Well, I do like watching it, so I'm not complaining because I don't like watching it. I do like watching it. Okay, so, all right. Louis says, like gummy bears stuck in a molar, you gotta send another gummy bear to remove the first one. Yeah. What's going to stick to a gummy bear if you try to get it out? You got to go in with something that will stick to it. That's what Louis is saying. And that's why Louis is an expert fixer-upper, Mr. Camera Junkie. Okay? So, Peter, cookies, good fat. Everything in my cookies is good fat except the Crisco. That's actually a bad fat. Okay? But it's actually the smallest amount of ingredient, and yes, I did try to make it without it, in case you want to know, and they don't taste right. They don't taste the same. So thank God it's not like the majority of the fat. The majority of the fat is butter, real honest to God butter, okay? And then a very small, like a couple of tablespoons of the Crisco, which is a bad fat, okay? It's not good for you. But like I said, it is a cookie. We don't go on a diet, a health food diet, and start eating cookies. That isn't the. If that was the health food diet, okay, baby, count me in on that one right away. I want my diet to be cookies and ice cream and pudding, chocolate pudding, and flan. If you guys don't know what flan is, it's a Latin dessert. Galactopurico would be the Greek version of that. Very similar, a little bit different. That would be my diet. You would have a big happy Peter, okay? But obviously that is not what we're supposed to be eating. Wait, where is this? Jim says, okay, Jim, I'm going to build you up and then I'm going to knock you down, okay? All right, so got my bacon for breakfast tomorrow. I was surprised how keto-friendly chicken salad is. It is. Chicken salad is friendly, but look at the mayonnaise that you use. Look at the ingredients, and the very first ingredient says soybean oil. That's not a heart-healthy fat. That's a heart-defeating fat. So I haven't tried it yet, so I can't give it a thumbs up or yuck, a thumbs down. But if you, I was told by Dr. Barry, okay, I watch him all the time, that I want avocado oil mayo. Now I don't know what that's going to taste like, because sometimes you get a mayonnaise made out of something else and it tastes like crap. Okay, so you can do the testing on it, Jim. So if you make the chicken salad, that's all good. And the mayonnaise, I think it's got like one net carb, which is like totally awesome. Okay, so but then you look, and it's the kind of oil in it that clogs your arteries, where the avocado oil is the kind that opens your arteries, clears them out, makes them run well. Okay, so now here's where the rubber meets the road. Okay, you guys have been watching me, most of you people that, yeah, all the names I recognize, you guys have been with me a long time. We're like family. You know, if I start talking about chocolate and ice cream, I can get myself excited, but now that I've been on this different fat, okay, I can get outwardly excited, but I don't get like a craving for a cookie, okay? I don't get a craving for, and I'm telling you the truth, I don't get a craving for a bowl of ice cream. Where before, if we talked about it just for a little bit here, you know, my mind became fixated that when this show is over, I'm going to go into the ding-dong kitchen, I'm going to get me a big bowl of ice cream, and the big bowl of ice cream becomes bigger. So it would make, you know how boys are, you get your juices flowing when you're thinking about a big juicy hamburger or you know, or a pretty girl, well, the good fats are actually making me feel satisfied. And I kind of resent that. I want the ice cream. I want the cookies. So I got a couple of orders and I made the cookies. I didn't even lick my finger, the bowl, okay? Or when I put the scoop in the sink, okay? I get it and I get the cookie dough, the raw cookie dough, and I lick it. Didn't even do that. So the correct fats will make you feel satisfied, and I am living proof. Cookies, chocolate chip cookies, chocolate pudding. It's so creamy when you put it in your mouth. A nice piece of cake. How about pie? A la mode with ice cream. How about that new ice cream that I found? Tillamook ice cream. The best ice cream I have ever had in my 68 years is Tillamook ice cream. You get that strawberry or the peaches and cream or the chocolate. It is the creamiest, most delicious ice cream I ever had. Now, if I said that 3 months ago, okay, I would actually be having a food desirable orgasm in my mouth. It's like, I can't wait to get a bowl of ice cream. I just gotta have it. I'll be driven. I'll just go get another piece of bacon. And you know what? The bacon tastes really good, okay? And yeah, I eat the fat because it's a good fat, okay? Now, down here in Miami, it's Latin town, there's something called chicharrones. Chicharrones is fried pork, okay, like little chips of pork, you know, pork skins, and they fry it. Now, the problem, there's nothing wrong with the pork skins, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that they're fried. It's what they're frying it in is what destroys the whole thing from being a good food, okay? So, they do make some, you can look them up on Amazon, where they actually make it in coconut oil. So, Jim said, I left off with Jim, and he was telling me about how keto-friendly chicken salad is. Just watch for the mayonnaise. So, Aaron is saying, Randall, no. That must be answering a question. Oh, Motivated Minds is Carlos? Yes! You didn't get that? I tried to make sure everybody knew. Motivated Minds, right here. Okay. That's Carlos. Okay, so you got Carlos right there. Okay, so where did I leave off? So Lewis realized that Motivated Minds is Carlos. Aaron, how are you doing? What are we learning tomorrow morning? Lewis is taking lessons from Aaron, by the way. So anybody want to take guitar lessons, Aaron charges for that, and that's one of the ways he makes his money, is a guitar teacher. But you've got the best. You haven't gotten somebody that just decided, I'm going to go and give guitar lessons for money. you got somebody that's got a lot of power behind what his abilities are. And I'm not building him up. He really amazes. Watch him on Sunday. So today's Friday night, Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, tune into Aaron Short, okay? And he's going to be giving the concerts. Throw a request out at him, okay? I even threw one out that I figured he never heard of, and he goes, I think I've heard of that song. And I'm going like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Yep. So Lewis is taking lessons from Aaron. Kippy is here. Hi, everybody. And everybody, we just got back home from an early morning street shoot because I need material for my next lens reviews. So you just did one this week. It was the Thrifty 50. I think you call it the Nifty 50. Okay, I call it the Thrifty 50 because it's like $100 and it's as good as most of the other lenses. So Kippy just did a video on the 50mm lens. My guess is probably the Canon, but I'm not sure. So Randy's asking, Kippy, what lens are you using on your shoots? Okay. And Mr. Camera Junkie is, Peter, you are killing me. Chicharrones, and then churros. That's another one. Yeah, I love that stuff. Okay. So I got a whole big bottle of chicharrones, and it's that big. It's $16, but it is fried in coconut oil and not in soybean oil or vegetable oil, because that's what makes it bad for you. It's the bad fat. It's the heart clogging fat. Okay, so coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil. Those oils are supposed. I use olive oil because I've never even tried avocado oil. Maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Those are the oils, and I do have a big jar of, not a big jar, a good sized jar of coconut oil. Those are the oils that actually are heart healthy, and they give you fat, and the fat makes you feel satisfied. You no longer feel hungry. Okay. So, and turkey. Tonight I had a slice of turkey and 5 slices of bacon. Okay, and I also put, I'm just going to call it sour cream, but it's a Greek thing. It's called tzatziki sauce, which is sour cream with cucumbers and olive oil and garlic in it. And I put a tablespoon of that. I use that as my dip. I actually feel full. And I'm sitting here doing all this jabbering about all these wonderful desserts, and I don't feel like I need to run into the kitchen to eat it right away. And that is proof that if you eat according to the recipe, Lewis, okay, not a little bit of this diet and a little bit of that diet, probably going to make you a sick young man, okay? So get on whatever diet you want, but the eating habits, I should say, and stay in those veins. No mixing. Kip is answering Randy, but I'm curious to hear what this is. Well, today, Randy, I brought the Fuji 50mm 1.8 and a new China-made lens. It's a small company, Astroholi, 50mm 1.4, a tilt shift lens. Tilt shift lens is for super professionals, okay? So Kippy is a super professional. So that's where we got it. All right, guys, we've been on an hour. We're at to the end. If anybody else has a quick question you want to slip in, otherwise you could start saying good night to each other. And tomorrow night I'll be watching the Bells of St. Mary. I guess now is not the time to be asking questions. I was going to say, what are you doing tomorrow night? Who are you doing with? Who are you doing it with? How long will you be doing it? I'll be watching the Bells of St. Mary, and I'll be having some strawberries, not too many, 4 strawberries, individual strawberries, and some whipped cream. And I'm going to play with it. I'm going to smush it and stir it around, and after I get it all soupy, I'm going to add a little more whipped cream. And I'm going to use that for my dessert. Okay. Now, I did mention to you, Lewis, I saw a keto brownie but you shouldn't be on keto, okay, because you're not eating in that style. So it's not going to be healthy for you. You need the fat that's in the egg yolk to successfully have a keto reaction in your body. So you're better off eating the egg whites and eating low fats, which is a pretty boring diet, okay? I can have cream cheese, but I can't have the bread, okay? So, but I can make a scrambled egg, and I can mix a couple of dollops of cream cheese in it, and don't mix it in. So as you're eating your scrambled egg, oh, that's another thing. I'm going to show how to make a really fluffy, soft, delicious scrambled egg, okay? That'll be another one for the Peter's Kitchen. All right, so Happy New Year, everybody. Every day is New Year. Lewis is, he's glad that I'm doing well with keto. Oh, I'm down 9 pounds now. I didn't even tell you that. And I did get a measuring thing so I can measure my waist, okay? So what I'm told is to know if you are prone for a heart attack or stroke. Prone doesn't mean you're going to have one, okay? So, Lewis, I didn't say anything bad. I just, you know, how they say if you're a smoker, you can have this, okay? Is you take your height in inches, and you take the, your waist in inches right at the belly button. Not lower, not higher, okay? So you take how many inches it is around your belly button. You take that number, and then divide it by the number of your height. It needs to be 0.5 or less. Then you are much less prone for heart attack or stroke. If it's more than 0.5, like right now I'm at 0.7, okay, then you need to drop some inches, okay, which in my opinion it means drop weight, okay. So that's something I had never heard all my life. So I'm at 0.7. I need to be at 0.5 or lower. So measure your waist at your belly button, right at that spot, and that's going to be a certain number of inches. Then measure your height, okay, and convert it to inches. And then after you do that, divide the waist number, okay, by the height number, and it'll give you a decimal, okay? At a 0.5 or less, you are pretty good in terms of your heart and for a stroke. And if it's higher, you are more at risk. So that tells you to get down lower, okay? Carlos says 9 pounds. Awesome, Peter. It shows. Yeah, it is starting to show. I'm still bulky. I'm a big boy, okay? I know that. But when I lose 30 pounds, then we can start talking about, hey, sexy, okay? So, but it's a start, and I'm on the right road. And I think the biggest miracle in this whole thing is I don't cheat anymore. Because I usually grab a little this, a little of that, and that, okay? So, but this is the first time I've been heavy into the fats because, let's face it, growing up we were taught the fats are going to give you a heart attack, okay? So stay away from the fat, okay? And it's kind of like peeing with your other hand. It just don't work, you know? So, but I'm doing it, and it's working. So if you find out that I died, I like flowers, red flowers, white flowers, okay? I'll be in heaven. I am a believer. Norm will vouch for that. All right, I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. We didn't even talk about the A74, which I have connected. This is the A74. I think it does a great job. Let's walk to the back and let's see how it does. And if I sit over here, okay. Now don't make the mistake of watching me, okay. If you're watching me, you can't tell if my face is in focus or not. But where can you tell what's in focus and what's not in focus, okay? That's a quiz. Here's a pop quiz. One question. Okay. What can you look at to see what the focus is doing? Okay. So down, 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 down. Okay. You look at the sharpness of the Christmas lights on the tree. Why do you think I have a Christmas room? Because the Christmas lights tell you all about what the focus system is doing on any camera at any time. If they breathe in and out, and you see my face looks fine, but the Christmas lights are breathing in and out, the focus system is not operating properly. Now, when I get up, I'm going to walk from here, from the story chair. I'm going to walk to the Christmas desk. Okay? Now, you can watch my face, which is what most people do. But when I'm looking at a focus system and I want to know what the heck it's doing, I don't look at the person's face. Okay? I will find something in the frame that's telling me the story clearly. So I don't have to guess. Is that in focus or isn't it in focus? Did it hold the focus or it didn't hold the focus? Okay, watch. Try this as a test. Don't watch my face. Don't watch my glasses. Watch the Christmas tree lights. Watch how blurry they get, when they get blurry, and how smooth the blurriness happens. I'm going to get up. Nothing should have changed, okay? Christmas lights should have stayed the same. Now, I'm going to walk to the desk. Okay, now it is focusing. Its job is to focus on my face. Look at the Christmas lights. Wrong hand. Do you see how they changed? Now, if you weren't watching my face, you would have seen the Christmas lights change. If you were watching my face, you can't tell how good of a job the focus system did. Okay, that just a word to the wise. All right, something that you'll learn. Because you'll be getting people popping in, popping up, popping left, popping out, okay, and they want you to see what's going on, okay? That will tell you some of it, but sometimes your own eyes are going to fool you, all right? So the Christmas lights are the absolute here, okay? They don't move, they don't change. So now when I turn around and walk, and I just take one step and stop, okay, what's in focus? Me? Okay, you don't really know. You can, but you could tell from the Christmas lights as I walk to the back. Okay, and now I'm going to get as close to the tree as possible. Now the Christmas lights are sharp points of light. And when I walk back up to the camera, the Christmas lights should smoothly blur out. Guess what? The focus system is doing the job that I would call a good job. Okay? Now, if I do that with the Panasonic, it will not do that properly, okay? And with the Olympus, it'll do that properly 8 out of 10 times. So that's not bad. If you're into micro four thirds, the Olympus camera suddenly becomes desirable, all right? So that's our little lesson for tonight. And now we are going to say good night. I love you guys, every single one of you, and I pray for you. Not every once in a while, but every single night I pray for you. So if you're the praying kind of guy, pray for me too, okay? So I'm going to say good night. God willing, and the bridge isn't out. See you on the other side next week, next Friday.
Just watched another Peter Gregg